Hi everyone, I'm Verity and I'm one of the founding directors of ROKBOX. I initially started working for one of the UK's leading fine art shipping companies, Momart, and I was there for about 7 years before I went on to work as a registrar for a couple of the world's biggest commercial art galleries. So altogether, I've probably spent about 12 plus years as a registrar before leaving to start ROKBOX.
Hi, I'm Mithra. I have an MA in Fine Art Logistics from Sotheby's Institute of Art, specializing in sustainability. And I've been working at ROKBOX for just over 2 years now in account and logistics management. To introduce you all, we've just got a short video by our founder, Andrew Strumentov, going into a little bit of the products and the impetus for why he started the company. I'm just going to share our screen. Bear with us.
I'm Andrew Strumentov, and I'm the founder of ROKBOX. I started ROKBOX because I was working in the art world for auction houses and galleries and building museums, which was really fun. But I realized that whenever we did an art fair or an exhibition or anything really, there was an enormous pile of rubbish whenever we finished, which was at odds with the sophistication of the artwork. And artworks, they're incredibly important. And so if you lose an artwork because it rained at an airport or because someone put the wrong size screws in a box, it's kind of sad and upsetting and unbelievably expensive. So massive pile of rubbish, and then occasionally not working with cataclysmic results, decided that we could solve that with new products and new ways of working.
All right. Brilliant. I hope you enjoyed that little video. So essentially, ROKBOX is an R&D company. We're not a logistics company. We simply make products which make other people's lives a little bit easier. So think of ROKBOX products like tools, which you apply as you need to in your workplace. We're based in the UK and we're a small team. And as Andrew said, ROKBOX was formed for 2 reasons: protection and sustainability. And these 2 themes have informed all the design work, all the manufacturing that we've done ever since. Importantly, though, there's always been this third factor that we factored in, and that's cost, because we believe it's really important that people shouldn't have to compromise on protection or sustainability because of a budget.
Yeah, as Verity mentioned, so 7 years ago, people were approaching us because of superior protection. Whereas today, the key reasons people approach ROKBOX is because of sustainability and cost saving. So we've really tried to market our products and price them competitively. So if people want sustainable options, they're not priced out.
Yeah. Great. I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour now of the ROKBOX product range. So that means I'm talking you through what is available to buy right now if you wish to. So we offer 2 types of ROKBOX crates, both of which are suitable for 2D artwork. That's ROKBOX Original, which is this one over here, and ROKBOX Lite. ROKBOX Original is available in 6 sizes right now, and ROKBOX Lite is available in 2 sizes. We also have a third option, which is putting a ROKBOX Lite inside a ROKBOX Original to make ROKBOX Nest, as we call it. And don't worry, we're not going to test you on all of this. We are going to send you some information tomorrow, so don't worry about making too many notes or having to take all this in. ROKBOX Original is designed to be reused up to 100 times. ROKBOX Lite, designed to be reused about 10 times. Importantly, for that reuse potential is not just the exterior robustness, but also the internal fixing systems, of which we have 3. And the 3 systems can be used interchangeably between the 2 different types of crate, give or take the odd tweak here or there. And they are very simply this velour and Velcro strapping system that you see here currently in the light, which is pretty self-explanatory. This combi clamp system, as we call it, which is currently in the original, and it basically just gently holds an artwork in place. And then lastly, there's this fixing plate system, as we call it, which works with whatever fixings you've got on the back of your artwork, be that Oz clips or mirror plates, to then hold the artwork in place within the crate. Particularly for this system, you're not having to use any more wrapping materials around the work. So you're also saving on double handling and materials, etc. That might feel like a lot of information that I've just run through. Don't blame me if you feel that way. We tend to have one or two conversations with museums such as yourselves when you're deciding which ROKBOX may suit you best, which hardware systems. So a couple of conversations so we get a better idea of the hardware systems you currently use or how you're intending using your ROKBOX. And we can then work out with you which combination of ROKBOX crates, which sizes, which hardware range suit you best. We also have comprehensive product guidelines on our website, along with some videos showing you how to use everything. And we also, whenever possible, go and visit our clients, go and see people using ROKBOX in museums. And we do online tutorials like one-to-one with museum technicians, etc., conservators all the time. So we make ourselves as available as possible.
Yes, we do. And while Verity has explained the product range, we've made ROKBOX even more accessible by creating ROKBOX Loop, which is a rental program. So we currently have 11 global locations with ROKBOX pools across Asia, North America, Europe, and the UK. And this is made possible because we've partnered with some forward-thinking shippers, Gander and White, Haas & Co, Hellutrans, and Deetle, and potentially more to come. So this has been a really revolutionary time for ROKBOX because we're making our products even more accessible worldwide, and we're solving the problem of how do you get the box back. So this is really exciting. You can look on rockboxloop.com, our website, where you have an order form there, where you can place orders and request quotes. It also has the full product information. So currently available through rental, we have 2 sizes of original. So this one behind me, which is 1.6 by 2 meters, and then an even bigger one, the 2 by 2.4 meters. And then we have both light sizes, so the 1.2 by 1.2 meter and 1.2 by 1.6. These both come with these fixing systems, as you see in the boxes. So the original with the clamps and the light with the strapping. And potentially we will be adding more sizes and hardware systems in future, but currently that's what we're offering. So it's really exciting, collaborative effort for all of our shippers. And yeah, please check it out on our website.
Thanks. So, as I've already said, we started ROKBOX for 2 reasons: protection and sustainability. That was why we began the journey. And now we've just told you how we have this big range of crates and hardware available for sale and a more select range available for rent. How do we know all these crates and hardware are so much safer? I'm going to quickly run you through why we know that to be the case. As you already know, Andrew and I spent years working for fine art shippers, galleries. He was setting up museums, working on the Venice Biennale, etc., etc. Every so often, despite working with the best shippers, despite the best laid plans, something would go wrong and an artwork might get damaged. So we took our personal experiences to the table. In addition to that, we spoke to everybody who would give us 5 minutes, or preferably 5 hours, from the insurance industry, from government indemnity, conservative scientists, restorers, about what they saw was going wrong and how and why an artwork could get damaged. Importantly, we also looked at the existing industry literature, and obviously that is got a huge museum emphasis. So things such as the National Gallery Technical Bulletin, the Art in Transit Handbook, and we took all this research, all this knowledge and learning that we'd acquired, and we paired it with the skills and mindset of industrial designers. And the important thing about industrial designers is that they take an agnostic approach to design. If I'm asked to design something, I'm going to be limited by my imagination, by what I have experienced in that before, whereas they are way more agnostic about materials, way more scientific. So at this point, we started to make prototypes, which was a really exciting stage. So it wasn't just enough that we had prototypes, we had to work out how to test them. And we spoke to the engineering department at Leicester University, and we worked in collaboration with them to design a testing brief. So we worked out how to test for water protection, how to test for forklift damage, which height drops we wanted to test from, at what angles of dropping the crate did we want to test from, temperature and humidity fluctuations. So basically we designed this like a salt course of testing, and we took into account real world risks as we perceive them. So not so much for the museum world, but in other sectors, full topple is pretty much the worst case scenario. And whereas some people just test from about 45 degrees, we literally would test from that full topple over and over again. And we didn't just do this testing in our backyard. We went to a German standards testing facility who have a location in the south of England called Tuvsud, and they work for the Ministry of Defence and Rolls-Royce and Airbus. So you've got Rolls-Royce testing climate control in one chamber, and then there's a little ROKBOX next to it. So yeah, that was quite amusing. We spent a fortune, partly because this testing process went on for so long, because it was iterative. Every time we tested, we learned something new. So we were pushing and pushing what our ROKBOX prototypes could do. We were also testing against museum spec crates, so traditional wooden crates that we kept having made, and then we kept testing to destruction over and over. So yeah, it was a long process, but ultimately really rewarding, because what we ended up with was a really comprehensive set of testing data, which we make available on our website. So it's there for you to see. So I'm not going to give you loads of stats now, because we're going to send you that tomorrow in a bundle of information for you to review. It does include a lot of data, like the spec of the wooden crates that we tested against. But if there's anything you're not seeing, please let us know. Ultimately, headline fact, we outperformed the wooden crates we test against. We achieved the huge target that we set ourselves. So you're going to read all about that in the testing data. But I want to leave you with just something to think about. Well, a couple of things. Neil Armstrong, I know it's cheesy, landed on the moon in 1969. His rocket wasn't made of wood. And we don't put our valuables in a wooden safe, and we don't put our heads in wooden cycle helmets. So why do we tend to still put our precious artworks in wooden crates? And one more thing, Mithra is going to kindly show you a video now of this, like months and months we spent testing. Here's a little video for you.
Fantastic. As you can see there at the end, the full topple, the worst thing that could possibly happen, but we tried it, and our crate still performed really well. So as well as testing data for safety, we have done a lot of testing for sustainability. Firstly, we'd like to share that our products, we try and manufacture as close to market as possible to reduce emissions in our supply chain. So our ROKBOX originals are manufactured here in the UK, and our lights are manufactured in the Netherlands. So that's firstly. And then, as Verity mentioned, it was an iterative process, of development, which actually meant that we designed out unnecessary waste. So our products are incredibly lightweight, making them more fuel efficient. If you send a light case via air freight, you can save up to 90% emissions in comparison with using a wooden crate. So that's incredible. And don't just take our word for it. So we've worked with Stitch, Sustainable Tools and Cultural Heritage, to do a full life cycle analysis of our products. We'll be sending this to you tomorrow as well. Again, ROKBOX performs incredibly well when you're comparing it with wooden crates and also other crates available, reusable crates on the market. So that's really interesting to take a look at. Please let us know your thoughts and feedback, and look at Stitch as well, because they're doing amazing things. Something that's really important to us is not just measuring CO2 and global warming factors, but actually measuring other environmental and sustainability factors. So in that report, you'll see 9 other factors, including carcinogens and smog, and things we're taking into consideration, not just for the manufacturing, but the whole life cycle and end of life of our ROKBOXes. We also have recycling programs. So if you return at the end of life our ROKBOX originals to us, we can send them back to our manufacturer and get them ground down and remake new ROKBOXes out of them. Our ROKBOX Lite is amazing. Once you take out this little blue seal and the metal screws, that's 100% recyclable within your own domestic recycling. So we've really tried to work with products that are as sustainable as possible to make our products as sustainable as possible.
So I've briefly covered why ROKBOX offers the best protection, and Mithra's talked you through why it's the most sustainable option. We're going to quickly touch upon that third issue of cost. And at the risk of stating the obvious, I'm going to speak about the benefit of owning your own fleet of ROKBOX and reusing them. So hopefully some of you have, I recognize some of your names that signed up. You've already received some information from me that I've been emailing out, which includes some of that cost benefit of owning ROKBOX. And those numbers start to stack up quite quickly in terms of those savings. You buy it once, you reuse it time and time again. But you save money in a couple of ways. Each time you use your ROKBOX, you don't have to have a wooden crate made. You can take one artwork out and you can pop another artwork in, even if it's a different size. Like your limitation is the internal cavity. You don't have to refit it with foams or anything like that. So you're saving on labor, you're saving on materials. So as already mentioned, ROKBOX Original can be used about 100 times and ROKBOX Lite about 10 times. That's a lot of reuse. That's a lot of internal refitting and a lot of wooden crate making and crate disposal costs that you're avoiding, and all the costs that go with them. Another little aside, we do offer volume discounts. We publish the RRPs on our website, but we also offer volume discounts and they kick in quite quickly. So we will always tell you about them when you start discussing a potential order with us. We also offer discounts for GCC active members. So that's something else to mention to us as well.
Yes, and while purchasing ROKBOX can save you money, so can renting ROKBOX, especially if you're doing short journeys. So our costs are the same for all users. So please don't think you have to work with one of our shipping partners. You can work with your preferred shipper and access the boxes at the same costs, starting at £290 for the week. And then we offer monthly and 3 monthly rentals for all the different sizes, which is incredibly affordable. So we're trying to, again, we're looking at the market, we're making sure that we're really competitive, which is really important. Importantly, again, you can have a GCC active members discount just for Loop. We're offering 50% off for first Loop rentals. Again, please email us or mention this when you're ordering on the website, and we'll make sure this is applied if you're applicable. So some exciting things.
Thank you for listening. We've been talking at you for 20 minutes now. Our colleague, Harriet, is off screen here, and she's been answering some of the Q&A, some of the questions you've been putting in the Q&A. If you haven't asked your question already, please go for it. I think there's a few questions she's held back for us to answer. Nice little test here. Yes.
Do you have any plans to make a 3D case?
Do you want to take that?
Sure.
Your straws?
Yes, we definitely do have plans for this in the future. So previously we've been a little bit preoccupied setting up Loop and getting everything organized, but 3D is definitely something that we are going to be looking into. As Verity mentioned, we're an R&D company. Product development is our bread and butter. So yeah, please watch this space.
And to just expand upon what Mithra said, the 3D crate also lends itself to being even more of a consolidated crate option. You can put multiple artworks in these as well, but you're limited by the depth. But yeah, so that product range will just get bigger and bigger, which is really exciting for us.
Yeah. Another question was, what is ROKBOX Nest for?
Good question. So ROKBOX Nest provides ultimate humidity and climate control. It is for very high value works or anything that's really precious. Because you've got so many barriers, you're going to have the light inside the original. So it's going to provide ultimate protection.
There's also, just to add to what Mithra said, you might want your artwork in a really robust crate, you know, that double crate that you might be used to working in museums. But then when you're carrying an artwork through a building and access is limited, rather than just with this system, for example, you take the artwork straight out, keeping an artwork in a ROKBOX Lite, it's still really maneuverable in tight spaces because the ROKBOX Lite is so lightweight. So that's nice.
Next question. Is there a maximum dimension and weight of artwork for your cases?
Yes. So our product guidelines have the full details. We'll send these to you tomorrow. Each crate has its own specific weight capacities. Again, this is very detailed and been thoroughly tested. So please always reflect what the product guidelines says.
And our testing processes actually factor in a huge like safety margin. So it's we do, it's something like the weight loading we give on the hardware, we actually divided it by 4. So when we start to see something change a little bit, we then divide that by 4, and that's the weight loading. Like there is so much precaution built in, it's untrue.
Another question. Is ROKBOX watertight?
Yes. Yes, it is. So as I said, we designed a testing brief with Leicester University, and the water in particular was interesting because we wanted to look at what happens in heavy duty rainfall. So we use sprinkler systems to mimic rainfall, but we also wanted to test for standing water. So, you know, serious flooding. And we tested for all those different situations. Long and short of it is yes, ROKBOX it's an easy win, to be honest, because wood is absorbent from the get-go. Even if it's painted and varnished, it's still fallible. Whereas the materials that ROKBOX are made of do not absorb water, and also all the seals have silicone gaskets, etc., built in. So yeah, that's a really nice question to answer, to be honest.
I think we've got time for one more question. There was a question around ROKBOX Loop, which is obviously the rental product. The question was exactly where, which locations is it currently active?
Okay, so Hong Kong and Singapore in Asia, in the UK, just in London, in Europe, so we have Paris, Germany, and Zurich. And then in America, we are Chicago, New York, Miami, LA, and San Francisco. Thank you.
Well
So they're all locations at the moment, but we are expanding. So please, watch
Yeah,
this space.
if there's somewhere you want a hub to be, let us know.
Yeah.
We love hearing that kind of feedback.
Yeah.
And as Mithra said when she explained Loop, it is really amazing because if you hire a car, you used to have to return the car to where you picked it up from. ROKBOX Loop is like that new car hire. You don't have to. You drop it off wherever you want, and you don't have to think about it, which is amazing.
Yeah, and we've tried to make sure we're located in all the major art hubs. So yeah, it's good stuff. Cool.
Any
You're
more?
done?
We're good.
It's brilliant.
I feel like we've been going at a million miles an hour. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
It's been really wonderful to have you with us. We are sending out all that information to you tomorrow. If you have any questions, anything at all, drop us a line. We are also thinking about doing webinars on a weekly or possibly fortnightly basis, and maybe honing in on specific topics such as how does this bit of hardware work, or the environmental benefits in this particular area, such as carcinogenics that Mithra mentioned. So if that sounds interesting to you, let us know. When we've sent you the information, please do get in touch, book in with a call for us, and we'd love to have a chat with you. Yeah,
Brilliant.
lovely. Thank you very much, everyone.
Great. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye. Have a good evening.